playing with G.I. Joe figures. Do you like playing with G.I. Joe figures? Awesome! Let's play some G.I. Joe! Dorks and dorkettes, and welcome to It Came From My Side of the Laundry Room. My name is Rob, and in this episode, that's right, it's that time of the month again where we grab another fistful of Joes. Now, if you haven't stopped by the laundry room before, what that means is I keep my G.I. Joe figures in these little bins. And unfortunately, with them being in these bins, I don't really know what I have. And I just enjoyed this opportunity to reach in, grab a fistful of them, and we take a look at them, play with them, and talk about them. I wouldn't say it's a review because, honestly, they're all pretty darn awesome. So anyway, without further ado, let's grab a fistful of Joes. Yo, Joe! Okay, folks, here we go. I have the bin next to me, but let me say two things before we get started. First, I apologize for how the drop cloth possibly looks because I kept it up in between filming sessions and my cats, of course, laid on it. So there could be cat hair here and there. So I apologize for that. Also, looking at the top of this box, this looks to be a lot of my troop building figures. So if I grab doubles or what have you, I will discreetly put it to the side and grab a fresh one. So just a warning. So let me reach in and see what fistful of Joes or Cobra figures we get this month. 2, 3, 4, 5. So I have grabbed 5 figures, which is what we usually look at, unless there's some bonus ones like last month. I think it was last month or the month before. Anyway, let's get started with... And let me just say before we get started, this is another Cobra heavy episode, so pretty cool. Anyway, the first one we will look at is Firefly. And I'm sure you can tell right off the bat, this Firefly looks a little bit different. He has red highlights. And I love this figure. I mean, it is a recreation of the original Firefly figure. And he has a brilliant paint job. I mean, I don't know. This is the Joeverse Cobra line. As you can see, the Cobra symbol here, and it's like an old-fashioned punch card or something. But we have his file card here with his little story. This was sold on a comic 2-pack, I believe, or 3-pack, I think they were. Anyway, I don't really recall what the story is on his paint job, but I can only assume it has to do with the whole Crimson Guard motif. I mean, I don't think I've pulled him yet, but I have a Cobra Commander that's all in red to signify the whole Cobra Guardsman motif. So he looks great. Comes with a figure stand. If I can get his, there we go, the peg into his feet. So we will put him right there and take a look at the accessories he came with. So first thing, it looks like he came with the Uzi with silencer that Snake Eyes version 3 originally came with. I mean, it even has the hook to hang it from, like Snake Eyes did on his belt. Now, he doesn't have that added, but an awesome gun nonetheless. We have a reproduction of his original gun. Granted, it's not in the, I want to say, green that the original one was in, but it looks great in black. So here, let's give it to him. Looks fantastic. And we have his awesome espionage backpack. I mean, a great molded piece. I mean, we have dynamite here and pouches and different canisters of things, and inside we have his toolkit. You can see a screwdriver, a hammer. I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, and a wrench or pliers. So that looks great. Has the cover just like the OG one, and his phone. A little blurry, sorry about that. There we go. His phone, and look how well sculpted that was. I mean, even back in the day. See all the little buttons of the phone there. Awesome. Now, if only they would have made it where it fit into this compartment. That would have been cool. Or just have something where it would sit in a cradle on top. But it did not. So, I mean, that's Firefly. Awesome no matter what color he's in, as long as he is in this garb. Not a fan of the version 2 that they came out with in the 80s where he had the hat and everything. I mean, it's kind of reminiscent of Shockwave, so I'll give him points for that, but not as cool as the original. So let's put him to the side, and I will bag him up again later. There we go. The next figure is the Cobra Night Trooper. And if I'm remembering correctly, this was released by Toys R Us in a troop building pack. And I mean, great color scheme. I like the night camouflage on his helmet and the gray tones. He even has camouflage on the pants. So that was a nice touch. But I mean, it's pretty much the original mold of the original infantryman of Cobra. So awesome. Awesome original O-ring figure, and I don't see a... Yeah, this was part of a troop building pack, because I think this was part of the Cobra logo that went in the background. And I don't... 6 or 7 of them, I think, came in the box. And the one thing I liked about these, and I'm sure in the future we'll look at some of the other ones in this set, but they had different ethnicities. Sorry, I tripped over that word. Yeah, I'm not the best of linguists, but I always thought that was awesome because, I mean, every other Cobra Trooper figure up to that point was white, and that's not very realistic, and it's kind of bland. So it was cool to get other people in the Cobra ranks, you know. So he came with this big boss machine gun. Look at this thing. Got like an over-under with a pistol. Has a sight on it. But the one thing is, with the figures that were being released at this time in the stores, they were not the O-ring figures. They were the weird molded figures. So those guns are more chunky to fit in those hands. So this doesn't fit the best, and I'm scared I'm hurting his thumb. So here he comes with a base. Love that a lot of the figures came with bases back then. If we can get it to fit. It does not seem like he wants to fit snugly. There we go. Kind of forced it. Hopefully I didn't hurt anything. So, and he also came with a knife that looks very reminiscent to Hit and Run's knife. I think it has a different pommel than Hit and Run's, but it's a very similar. Sorry for my dirty nails. Sorry, I'm a working class Joe, so I get a little dirty at work. So we have that. And let's put him to the side with Firefly. With the baggie. Now, this came in a awesome set, and I wasn't a hardcore collector when I picked it up. I picked it up at a KB outlet. And if I could go back in time, I would not do the stupid crap that I did. But it was a set that you got this Red Ninja. And this is like a weird hybrid of an O-ring figure with the new like broader shoulder style. I believe it came out maybe super early 2000s. And it came in a set with him, another ninja that I can't recall at the moment. When I see the figure, I think maybe it's Kamakura, I'm not sure, and a Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow figure, which we will look at the Storm Shadow figure. I can see that I pulled it, and it came with a weapons rack and a wooden archway with the, there we go, with the Arakakashi symbol on it. And my dumb butt got rid of the awesome archway and weapons rack. Like I said, at that time, I was not a hardcore collector, and I just picked it up because it looked cool, and it was, you know, Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow from my youth, even though they looked different. But I did not respect it like I would now. So heavily regret to that. But I mean, it's a decent ninja figure. Awesome, you know, Kama sickles. Has some great detailing on it. I'm sure it is legs that were repurposed from someone else, and probably a waist repurposed from someone else. But I believe the chest might be new, and definitely these arms, because look at these shoulders. Very thick. But get the blur out of there. But you got the Cobra symbol on his mask. I mean, I like his intense eyes. That looks good. So all in all, I mean, it's a nice figure, just in that really awkward style. Like, because they were like in between ideas on what they were going to do. I don't know how to describe it, but since he doesn't have a stand, I'll put him back in his bag and throw him to the side. So next is the Storm Shadow that I was talking about. Every time I look at these, I just regret getting rid of that archway thing. It was awesome. But we got the Aragakashi symbol here. This is the Joe vs. Cobra set. The different version of Storm Shadow with the Cobra emblem over his mask, which I don't hate. I mean, it's definitely different than the OG and the ones that followed, but I kind of dig it. Again, big shoulders. His facial expression isn't as intense as the Red Ninjas, so I wish that would have been the same. He has this awesome tabard here, this awesome dragon detailing going up the legs, which you see here on the waist. I mean, all in all, it's not a bad figure. I mean, like I said, I'm not 100% a fan of anything that's not the original, but this isn't that shabby. So he's going to punch you. But he came with a lot of different weapons here. I mean, we have hook swords opposed to his normal katana and wakizashi. So we, instead of putting them back on the backpack, I'm going to give him them. I mean, the hand, look how weird molded they are. Like I said, this was like a weird transition period for G.I. Joe. So you had these, and like, so that looks pretty cool. And I mean, I think I showed it. Maybe I didn't. It came on this backpack, which you got some shuriken on there, these buckles. But other than that, it's kind of a lackluster backpack. But he also came with this DIY. Sorry, it is late. I apologize. It's like 2:30 in the morning. So if I sound like an idiot, I will blame it on that. But anyway, he came with this bow staff that he had to put together. So just imagine if he's running from somebody. Just wait, let me build my bow staff. Just wait. But that, of course, attached to the backpack as well. So it is always an awesome feature when all of the weapons can be squirreled away either on the character or on their backpacks. I always dig that. I mean, even simple ones like Shockwave. I know I mentioned him earlier, but I mean, the fact that his awesome, like, survival knife a la Rambo went onto his backpack. Or Hit and Run, like I mentioned, with his awesome knife going onto his duffel bag. Now, this doesn't want to stay. Because let's admit it, I mean, a lot of the figures that came out in this era just weren't made that great. Structurally, I mean, design-wise, some of them are really nice, but there we go. It's on his backpack, and there we go. Snake Eyes. Oh, and I think that the Ninja set that I mentioned, that the red one came in with this guy, Snake Eyes, and another dude, even came with a DVD that I still have somewhere kicking around with my other Joe DVDs. But here we go. We have the Crimson Guardsman. And again, it is a later figure, but based on an O-ring design. I really can't place it, but I think this was an army builder as well. But I loved it because you can take his helmet off. Because in the comics, we saw them without, well, some of them without their helmets. So it's neat to have that feature. And yeah, it's a little bit bulkier, but I mean, it still looks pretty awesome. But you got the emblems here. This, why can't I think of the name? The sash or whatever. Totally wrong word for it. But not too shabby. Let's see, does it have any... 2003 Hasbro. It even has the spurs on here. Speaking of that, they should have had horses or something. That would be cool, like a horse unit. His backpack on. Got a bedroll, got a bunch of different pouches, grenades. I mean, pretty nice. And, of course, he doesn't come with his rifle with bayonet, but this is a nice substitute. Has a nice scope on it, has a handle. What is that, like an AR-15 or something? I'm not very well versed in firearms. But the handle was a nice addition to some of the later figures, because unless you really put a hurting on the thumb, you couldn't really get them to hold on to the, rifle. So that's a really nice addition. And it came with a stand. But it seems like he's a little top heavy with his backpack. There we go. Well, maybe we should put them behind and Firefly in the front. So that's a good little unit there. So anyway, I apologize for my many blunders, but like I said, it is late at night. Look at this. I'm screwing up the focusing. Okay, now it's not doing it. But like I said, many blunders. It's early in the morning, and I'm filming this because it's the only time I got to, so please forgive me. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this episode, and now back to me.
Anyway, back to me. Yeah, I apologize. Yeah, I know I mess up every once in a while, but I think this episode I messed up a lot. That could just be my perception. Like I said, it's about 2:30 in the morning. I'm pretty tired. It's been a long day. But, again, no excuses. I apologize. And I'm not an expert. I'm just talking about something I like. I mean, yes, I could do the time and do the work and put in copious amounts of research, but that's not what I'm about. I'm about living in the moment with the nostalgia and just, drinking it in. And yeah, that's where I'm coming from. My heart, my mind with the nostalgia. And yeah, I'm sorry I'm not an expert at it. Maybe that's why I get so many thumbs down on these episodes. I don't know. You got me. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed it for what it was. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you got something to say, please leave a comment. I love reading them, and I love getting back to everybody. And if you're new around here and you enjoyed this, or any of the episodes that YouTube is recommending down here, please hit subscribe. And if you hit that little bell icon, you will be notified whenever there's a new episode. So anyway, until next time, thanks for watching. Keep being rad and stay dorky.